This is John Wagner with Angelo State University Center for Innovation in Teaching and Research, and I want to welcome you to our brief video regarding blogging and student success. For those of you who haven't used a blog yet, it's easy enough to find out what a blog is. You can go to Blogs in Plain English and look at the Common Craft video, a relatively clever way to understand the origin of blogs and understand how blogs have come onto the scene. Simply put, a blog is a website or a location where entries or posts are listed in chronological order. Blogs allow readers to comment and they allow writers to collaborate. They can be used in any discipline to encourage reflection, offer analysis, show process, or any number of other things. Blogs are useful educational tools for traditional or online classes, and depending on the blog tool, students can create multimedia entries that show connections and deeper understanding of classroom discussions. So why should we have students blog? What we find from the research is that students who blog have an increased appreciation of diverse viewpoints and increased commitment to writing and thinking. That helps with identity formation, ownership, and voice in learning, and it helps students articulate and inform their own learning. More importantly, perhaps, it creates networked writing that moves writing into the public arena so that it's not just a conversation between the faculty member and the student, it's a conversation between the student and the entire class. What we also know about writing, based on the Stanford study of writing in 2009, is that students write more than ever before. They write oftentimes because they want to shake up the world, but we have to recognize that the writing does not look like it did yesterday. To sum that up, basically what blogs allow students to do is share, analyze, reflect, read, and communicate. If we look at blogging, here's a sort of visual representation of what blogging does. Is it allows us to create these public documents that offer collaboration, sharing, and peer review. So a student blogs, it's shared with a variety of other students who approve, applaud, ask questions, disagree with, or ask for further representation and further discussion in those blogs. How can blogs help the classroom? It's an easy enough situation. Blogs create a context and reflection, can create context and reflection. You can assign students blogs before class discussion and after class discussion. Blogs encourage interaction. We don't let students write in a vacuum. We have students respond to their colleagues. It can emphasize ownership. All students have an opportunity in a blog to reflect, respond, and articulate without classroom time limits. They give us talking points as faculty members. Student blogs allow us the opportunity to address student ideas, correct misconceptions, and praise student engagement. They oftentimes also give us a chance to focus discussion. We can ask students how they accomplished a task, why a problem set worked, or other specific questions focused on that particular topic. So how do we incorporate these at Angelo State University? Well, we have a Blackboard. Blackboard has a blog component, and the next few slides really run us through that process. You go into Blackboard, you hit the Collaborate button, you click Create Blog Link. On that blog link, you create a new blog. You title your blog, provide whatever directions you want your students to follow in that blog, and you hit Submit. You create a new blog by going to the Next button. Then you repeat your directions, provide more details if you need to do so, maintaining the same title that you provided on the previous in the previous area, and you hit Submit, and voila, your blog is created, and your students see that blog in their weekly folder, and they have directions here, and then when they hit that, they go to the rest of the directions. So there are some easy ways to use blogs for individual reflection, for example. And so the example below is from an English 6391 class that I teach, and it's titled Theory in You. And the blog became active on November 3rd. And what this blog does is it asks students to apply the theory we were discussing to a work that they are studying on their own. They write about 500 words, and in that space, they show an understanding of the theory, and they outline a way they might view their work via that theoretical lens. They had a week to perform this task, and we used those blog entries to discuss theory, discuss application, discuss the works themselves in the next class. For the students, as they go to put this together, it's relatively intuitive. They hit the blog entry in the upper left. Doing so opens a dialog box that we'll see in just a minute. The tool screen in that dialog box looks pretty much the same as any word processing folder. So you can see in this box right here, it looks like Microsoft Word or LibreOffice. The students input the information here, and when they're finished, they hit Post Entry right there, and we have the entry. For these blogs, as you can see, I blocked out the student names in gray to protect them and to make sure that no students were identified in this. So this is an example of what a blog page would look like. The student entered their information. I came in and hit comment, and I can comment through here, and the student and I can talk about what they've posted, and I can ask them further questions. I can explain or clarify issues, and then in this case, the student posted a comment, I responded, and then we had a dialogue that ran through at least 3 or 4 different comments. We can use these blogs for group discussion, both for a class that meets in class or a class that meets outside of class. This blog here was for a Monday, Wednesday, Friday American Literature class. For group assignments, it's oftentimes easiest for the instructor to create small groups ahead of time and then assign those groups a particular blog. So in this class, there were 5 groups of 5 students apiece. They had a particular topic that each group had to answer, and so as you can see on this slide, these students participated in the blog outside of class. It generated 21 comments. These types of blogs really play off the students' familiarity with social networking, but the structure encourages comments with more depth. So we end up seeing comments that are 100, 200, even up to 500 words long as they respond to each other, and we oftentimes see multiple comments as they bounce back and forth and have conversations in that sort of Facebookish style. As the instructor, I monitor the comments, and in this class, the students were responsible for responding to their group, but they were also responsible for reading all the other group comments. During class, I might pull up particularly insightful comments or relevant questions and use those as the basis for classroom discussion. These group blogs are also great for us because they can sometimes really reveal areas of misunderstanding, and they can show us which students seem to be grasping the material relatively well. You can also use blogs to attach documents, post video blogs, or for small class discussion. So you can attach documents. Students often see blog writing as low stakes, and they tend to treat it as such. While faculty can develop criteria for writing in those blogs, we can also use the blog page for students to attach documents. These documents become public and they're viewable by the classmates. For instance, students might post introductory paragraphs for peer review, and then their colleagues will respond to those. The blog example from earlier, the Theory and You blog, offered students the opportunity to write a little more formal explanation, post or attach a document to the blog page, and then the other students were allowed to read that and comment and carry on a class discussion regarding those brief comments. You can also post video blogs. Students can upload short video blogs to the Blackboard blog page. These videos open externally to Blackboard. Video blogs allow us to watch and hear our students read or respond to questions. They're an interesting twist on the blog format. Blackboard is not always the easiest to attach video blogs to right now, and it's not a streaming service. But in my experience, if you keep the blogs to 5 minutes or less, there's usually not very many problems with those. They also are opportunities for small class discussions. So blogs work as an ideal location for students and faculty to hold conversations that extend for multiple days or weeks. Such conversations might allow faculty and students to reflect and connect ideas across classes. So you may have a conversation or a topic in week 2 of the semester, and you want to continue to look back at that, and a blog allows you to keep building information, building comments based on some definition or core idea that you began the semester with. For more information about blogs or the sources mentioned in the presentation, contact the CITR at 942-2566. Visit us on Facebook or email us. Thank you very much.